Lovely. And
floaty.
Welcome to the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time Pedal Show. I'm Gabor.
Hey, welcome.
That's my radio announcer voice.
I noticed, yeah. It's very good. Hey, I'm Alex, and welcome. We've got a delay from Danelectro. This is the Reel Echo delay.
Reel Echo, yes, which I think may have only just been discontinued, as in they stopped making it just recently, I think. I think you can still buy them new at a lot of shops, but I don't think they make them anymore.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'm not 100% sure. But it's really cool, and it's big.
It is big. It's there's a spring reverb, which is kind of the same layout.
Yep, which has a pad on it that you can hit, and then it goes.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And speaking of reverb, we had a little bit of the Electroharmonix Holier Grail on for the intro as well.
Nice.
Okay, so the Reel Echo. So it's basically Danelectro's tape echo emulation thingy in a sort of a layout that looks kind of like a tape echo. See, like you've got like the tape heads and all that stuff. And so you've got two buttons, echo and sound on sound. We'll get onto sound on sound a little later. You've got a speed range from 0 to 1500, which is 1.5 seconds, or 1500 milliseconds. You've got a mix, which goes from all the way wet to all the way dry. Tone, which is solid state and tube, a bit darker, a bit brighter. Warble, which is basically imperfections and like sort of modulation that you would have in tapes, which you can turn on and off. Lo-fi, which all the way off, it's almost like it's a new tape. As you turn it up, it's an older tape, which sort of where the repeats degrade a bit more. And a repeat rate, which goes to infinite repeats, but it doesn't self-oscillate. It just goes to infinite repeats, which is where the sound on sound comes in as well.
Keep going and keep going. Should we check out just the delay sounds for the time being?
Yes.
Then we'll check out the sound on sound later.
Yes.
So.
Yes. We're going into the Seritone OTS Mini 20. We also have actually, and we use it in the intro, we've got the Mostronics Expand Drive, which is killer, which is sort of his take on a Tube Screamer-esque kind of thing, just with a few extra things. You may be able to watch the video for that here.
Let's see if that works.
Let's see if that works. Okay, so clean sound sounds actually. Okay, you turn it on. That gives you the tempo, the little flickery light. So let's start. Okay,
so real clean.
Start real clean. So with the mix at 12 o'clock is about 50-50, right? So we've got lo-fi all the way off, warble off. Let's go to sort of a little bit slower, like faster repeat rate, no warble. And let's check out tube and solid state just to get the difference.
Cool. So we're on
tube at the moment.
Tube now. Already.
Oh, it's a good sounding delay. Now if I go to solid state, bit brighter.
Yeah.
So tube is a bit darker. I find it's a bit darker but a bit thinner, where solid state is a bit fatter but brighter. if that makes sense.
Just more.
It doesn't necessarily make sense, but that's what it seems to me like. So if we turn the repeat rate up a bit. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fatter, but treblier. The other one is darker yet thinner.
I think it just shelved on top and the bottom, so less highs and less lows.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Cool.
Personally, I like solid state.
I like the other one.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. That's. It's always I'm always right. He's wrong, but no. Okay, now let's try out. So you like tube? Let's go to tube.
How fast will it go? Will it go like super?
That fast.
Delicious.
Like ridiculously fast. To, like that. The only thing, and I mentioned it in a podcast, but not sure how to... Okay, well, if you listen to... So, for example, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to the... is it Paranoid Android? The outro of Paranoid Android.
Yeah.
It has this kind of feedback, self-oscillating thing, and then it does that like when you have an analog delay.
Sure.
It's sort of the frequencies sort of all collide, and it goes into this big mess. The outro, it's done on a space echo, so that's an actual tape echo thing. With this, the one thing I have to say, so I think if you have an actual tape echo, you change a time, it does that wall thing.
Yep.
Whereas with this, it glitches, which is cool in its own right. But if you play something, like if you change a time. So it kind of glitches and then it kind of a little bit... Hang on, if I turn it up more, it repeats up more. You know what I mean? It's almost like it takes a bit of it,
yeah,
and then it sort of almost chops it, and then there's like this kind of glitchy thing, which can be cool in itself. But I don't think that's what an actual tape echo does.
No.
That's the only thing. I would have loved to have had the thing especially with a slider like that.
Yeah.
To do that, that's exactly how it goes. Anyway, that's the only thing. So, time-wise, it goes from super fast to super slow. Which is 1.5 seconds.
Cool.
Now let's give it a little bit more repeats, and let's try out the Warble. So it's got that modulation in the repeats, which is quite nice, actually.
I think that's probably one of the best delayed modulations I've heard for a while. Some of them are either non-existent or just too far.
That and a Utopia.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Anasound
Cool.
Utopia. I reckon that's got the best modulation of all delay pedals I've ever heard. Now, let's leave the Warble on, do some repeats, and now let's slowly turn the lo-fi on. So lo-fi, what it does is it basically rolls off the repeats.
Cool.
So if we start with that, it's clean. So it's like a low pass thing. So
Yeah, cool.
it gets quite dark fairly quickly the more you turn it up. Now let's try this. Actually, let's try it on solid state as well, just to see hear the difference. So it gets quite dark.
That sounds lovely.
It sounds great. I think on solid state, maybe because it is a bit fatter sounding, it seems to, I don't know, I don't know, there's something about the solid state that I like.
Cool.
It just has a certain, I don't know what. No, I think especially when you roll off the bottom end, there's more of it there. It's kind of sweeter.
Sure. Okay.
Whereas on the other one, it disappears too quick on the tube setting,
okay.
in my opinion. But anyway.
Nice.
Now the other thing there is the sound on sound setting, which is a little bit odd. But
if you try this one.
do you want me to try that one? Okay. So basically, for the sound on sound to work, what it means is you need to turn the lo-fi thing all the way down, and you need to turn repeats all the way up. And probably if you set it to 1.5 seconds, it's the best. But let's set it actually a little bit shorter. So what it does now is it means if I play something, and there's a dog now. Hello, dog. Is it dog on camera? Yeah, dog's on camera.
See, look, it's camera here.
There's a camera there too.
Bye, dog. Outside, please. Okay.
So basically what it means, right, if I now, like with maximum repeats, if I play something, it just keeps going forever. And if I play over it, whatever I play over it repeats as well. But what I can do is I can go. And so on and so forth. But I mean, you can. It's a second and a half, so there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can make noises. You know, you can do.
Cool.
You know, if you want to do that, it's not a whole lot of looping, but I mean, that's just what it is.
The first one you just did before that, just that one chord where it kind of swells into it each repeat,
Yeah.
could actually be like a really cool tool for like sampling in a hip hop track or something kind of lo-fi and indie.
I always knew I was a hip hop guy.
I didn't.
Because okay, well, I guess especially if you have a reverb on. Okay, let's do that. I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, I guess it's just something we can have.
Like, it's slightly gimmicky.
Gimmicky.
That's the one. Too many syllables there. And
Okay. More than one.
It's kind of a one-trick pony as far as that feature goes, but it could be cool and very creative.
I think some of the old Echo units had that feature. I think that's why they did.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And I think a lot of the old Echo units didn't go much longer than a second, or probably didn't even go near that.
Which is heaps.
Which is heaps anyway. So, yeah. But I mean, that's the function anyway. That's the sound on sound. It does also have two outputs. So the moment one in a mix out, but it has a second out, which is a stereo out, which is a dry out. So you can have, if you have both plugged in, one is always dry, one's always the wet output.
Yeah.
So you can have it
wet dry rig.
Wet dry rig, or
sure. Yeah, cool.
Or even running it to an effects loop in one way or another.
Sure. Yeah. Just before we go, let's see if we can get some like swampy rock, slapback stuff going.
Slapback? Well, I guess we'll go down to there somewhere.
That's the sound.
Sounds nice. Swampy.
Yeah,
Swampy.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to it, but that's the Danelectro Reel Echo. It's a cool unit. It's and I like the fact that it's big and it's sort of it's made to look like, you know, sort of what a tape delay looked like, and
it's kind of coming back slightly with like the T-Rex big tape delay thing.
Or the replica.
And there's also that escapes me. There's that other big delay pedal. They also do a big plexi one. I'll think of it straight away as soon as I finish the video. But because there was this whole phase about
making everything small
5 years ago, mini pedals, which is fun. But I kind of like like, here it is, this is what it does, and it has 3 big knobs, and it's like driving a tractor from the 1950s.
Well, I always liked the old electromonic stuff as well. Yeah. Big boxes with like big knobs on it. It just looks cool. Totally. All the small stuff, it's just, I don't know. I like this sort of stuff. I want to get the spring reverb too.
Sure, sounds good. We'll check that out.
Definitely check that out.
Just some more surf tunes.
Yes, I reckon that. And what they really need in that same series is a vibrato. No, tremolo. Sorry, tremolo. Or even a tremolo vibrato, switchable one.
Harmonic tremolo.
Yeah, to go with that and the reverb. Now that would be cool.
That would be cool.
So that's a Reel Echo. Let us know if you want us to pair it with anything in particular, or we did have on a lot of it, I did have the Holy Grail on just for a little bit of extra ambiance.
Because on spring reverb.
Spring reverb. But yeah, let us know if you want us. We might do a trial with 2 outputs one time. That could be fun. Running one side dry, one side wet.
Fun.
But yeah, that's a Reel Echo. What else could people do now that they're watching this and are connected to the interwebs?
Plenty of things.
Like what?
Including but not limited to.
Yes.
Facebook page.
Ours?
Yes.
Or anybody's.
Sure. And Danelectro's and ours.
Yes.
So, and our Instagram account, which is on Instagram. And there's also a podcast which we talk about all this stuff and just talk about things and gig stories and all that kind of stuff been going on in our gear world.
Yes.
And that's on iTunes, Podbean,
yes,
Stitcher,
yes,
SoundCloud,
yes,
and
Spotify. And SoundCloud not as much, because SoundCloud is a bit of a pain in the butt lately. With you have to. It's quite expensive if you want to have. I mean, if you put songs up, you have plenty of space. But if you have an hour-long podcast, You put 2 on there and you run out of space, and then you got to pay quite a lot of money on a monthly basis. So I'll update them every once in a while, and I get rid of the ones that the old ones. So there's only 1 or 2 usually on there. Whenever I can be bothered. But you should be able to Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and between that and Spotify, I mean, you should be right. So yeah, and tell your friends about it. Send us an email, say hello, superfunawesomehappytime@gmail.com. Let us know if there's any particular pedals you want us to do, or any groupings of pedals we've already done, or anything in particular. So thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, Fez.
Bye.
See you later.